Alright, hey guys, welcome back. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at a few examples of set builder notation, interval notation, and just a few kind of problems you might run into. If you haven't watched my video on like interval notation, set builder notation, it's in the description. It goes over kind of the concepts and the main ideas. So this is kind of a follow-up to that video. So let's jump right in. And exercises 1 and 2 says to use braces to list the elements of the set. So number 1, the set of whole numbers less than 5. So remember, your whole numbers are your counting numbers starting with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3. We want them less than 5, so that would be up to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we can write it kind of like this. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we'll close the set. All right. Number 2 says the set of integers greater than -8. So that's all integers. Remember, integers are your counting numbers, including your including your negatives. So we can kind of do the same thing here. So we start at -8. Well, no, it's greater than -8. So we'll start at -7, and then we'll move upward. So -7 doesn't include -8. Now, if it would have said greater than or equal to -8, then we would have included -8. -7, -6, counting up, -5, -4. Now, realize it can keep going forever. So once we kind of establish the pattern, once you get about 3 or 4 numbers in there, you can just do comma and then dot, dot, dot. All right, and then close your set. So that just means that it continues on in that direction. All right, let's look at these next exercises here. So in these exercises, we're going to write the interval in interval notation. So remember, interval notation has the parentheses or the brackets surrounding the endpoints. All right, so number 3. X looks like it's going to be between 4 and 10. All the numbers between 4 and 10. So 4 is one of our endpoints, and 10 is one of our endpoints. Notice I use parentheses because you can see that these are less than and less than signs, but they're not less than or equal to signs. So they don't include the 4 and 10. They exclude them. So that's why we use the parentheses. For number 4, we are going to include the endpoints because you can see that we have a less than or equal to. So we're going to use brackets for the -4 and the -36 since we have those signs. So -36, put a little bracket in there, and then -4. And again, a bracket for that one as well. Okay, moving on to number 5, we have this as a graph on a number line, but we're doing the same thing. We're still in interval notation here. So we're going to start at 40. Okay. Notice I put a parenthesis because if it's hollowed out, that means that it doesn't include the 40. So that doesn't include the 40, so we're going to use a parenthesis. But over here, we have a filled in circle. So that means we are going to include the 70, so we'll put a bracket. All right, number 6 is going to be a little bit different. So notice that our endpoint on the right is going to be -8, so I could go ahead and put that in. We're going to use a bracket. But there is no endpoint on the left, so this is unbounded. So what do you think it's going to be? Is it going to be -infinity or positive infinity? Well, it looks like it's pointing towards the left, so we're getting more and more negative. So it's going to continue to the left because there's no endpoint to -infinity. So we would do a -infinity to -8. And then remember, anytime you have an infinity or -infinity, we're going to use a parenthesis. All right. Let's just go on down to the next ones. Okay, number 7, the real numbers from 16 through 25. 16 through 25, this one's pretty straightforward. Now, if it says from 16 through 25, it means it's going to start at 16, but it's not going to include 16. So we'll use a parenthesis. But then it goes through 25, so it's going to include 25. So put 25 in a bracket. So it starts from 16, but doesn't include it, and then it goes all the way through 25 and includes it. Number 8, the real numbers between -3 and -1. Now it says between them. Doesn't say that it's including them. It says that it's between them. So we're not going to include -3, and we're not going to include -1. It's all the numbers between those two. All right. 9 and 10. Sketch the graph of the set of numbers. So we can see that we have the set x, where x is less than or equal to -6. I'm going to change my colors here. So if we start at -6, let's see. They've given us a line graph here, but they haven't filled it in. So let's say maybe this. 3, 2. Okay, we'll say this is -6, -4, -2, 0. How about that? So the ones that are less than -6. Now, we didn't necessarily have to do it that way. We probably could have condensed it a little bit. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. Let's condense it a little bit. So you're going to see what I'm doing here. Let's do this as 0. Let's do this as -6. All right, so this would be -12. This over here would be 6. All right. Now, we want all the numbers less than or equal to -6. So we're going to fill it in at -6. Oh. Fill it in at -6. And then it's less than, so it's going to point towards the left. All right. Point towards the left. It's going to be like a little arrow going to the left. And this says also, or x is greater than or equal to 0. So if we start at 0, we're going to fill it in because it's greater than or equal to. And it's going to be greater than 0, so it's moving to the right. So we could kind of graph it like that. All right. Now for number 10, this one says that it's all the real numbers x, where x is not equal to 18. So essentially every number except 18. So let's put 18 right in here. Doesn't matter with these, you can just, it doesn't identify what number is where on the timeline or on the number line. So you can pick wherever you want to put it. All right. So let's say this is 18. If it doesn't include 18, that means we're going to have a hollow circle there, but it's all of the numbers. So it's all the numbers this way, and it's all the numbers this way. So that's how we would kind of graph that. Okay, let's go on. We've got 4 more problems here. So let's take a look at these. Okay, so in these exercises, we're going to write the set of numbers in set builder notation. So we're just converting to different form of notation. So number 11, we have from 16 to 45. So let's write that. All the numbers x, such that x, and the way we can write this is -16 less than x less than or equal to 45. And then we can close it. So notice we're going to use a less than sign here because we have a parenthesis, and we're going to use a less than or equal to because we have a bracket. So all numbers where x is between -16 and 45. Okay, let's look at number 12. Number 12, let's go ahead and get our little set builder notation set up. So all the numbers x, set x where x, well, first of all, from -infinity to -2, that would be all the numbers less than -2, correct? So we could write it as x less than or equal to, because of the bracket, less than or equal to -2. And then we could write or, okay, because it says or right there. And then it looks like from 5 to infinity, so we're going to start at 5 and go up to infinity. So we can write this as x greater than or equal to, because we have the bracket again, greater than or equal to 5. Okay, so that one was a little bit of a long one. That's all the numbers less than or equal to -2 or greater than or equal to 5. Okay, number 13, the set of all real numbers less than 13. So set up our set builder notation again, x, where x is going to be less than 13. So x less than 13. That one wasn't too bad. Okay, number 14. Number 14 says the set of all integers except for negative 18. All integers except for negative 18. So let's get it set up. Whoop, that was terrible. Let's try that again. So all integers except negative 18. So the way we can write this is x is going to be all the integers. So we can write integers as kind of like this little stylized z, but also x is not equal to negative 18. Okay, so it's all real numbers, z, or the little stylized z means all integers, but it's not equal to negative 18. So that one was a little bit of a tricky one, but anyway. Okay, guys, that's the end of this video, but if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and I will try to get back with you. But hope you enjoyed, and guys, don't forget to dream big.